Hey guys, I'm back with another action figure review, and this time we're going to take a look at the DC Collectibles Red Hood and the Outlaws Arsenal action figure from the New 52. As I said in my previous review, this would be my next one up, and I do also have the Red Hood figure from the same wave, so if you're watching this now, Red Hood's review should be up very shortly or already up, so go ahead and take a look at that next. But before we get onto the figure, I'm going to take a look at the package. So I'll pull this in, and if you did watch the Starfire review, you know what it looks like, but it is the typical DC Collectibles box with the Red Hood and the Outlaws logo at the top and on the inside. Down at the bottom you have DC Comics, the New 52 Arsenal action figure. On one side you have a shot of the figure sculpted by Derek Miller. I'm not sure I have any other figures sculpted by Derek Miller, so it's interesting to have a new sculptor in with these figures. And then on the back you have a shot of the figure at the top, and it says, "Troubled as a youth and into adulthood, former Green Arrow protege Roy Harper now fights evil with Red Hood and the Outlaws. This new action figure is based on designs from his action-packed monthly comic book." And you have Arsenal, Starfire, and Red Hood. And here you have some cool side art. And that's that. So, take a look at the figure again. This was probably the one that I was looking most forward to when I saw the wave was announced. I know for most people it was probably Red Hood, and well, technically, like, as far as characters go, I was super excited for Red Hood, probably the most anticipated. But once I saw the preview images, I thought this one looked the best, so I was really excited to see this one in person, and it has pretty much lived up to those expectations. The only downside really is the face sculpt to me, and I'll get to that shortly, but first I want to do the accessories. So as you can see, he has a bow and an arrow. The arrow has nowhere to go, even though he has two quivers, which I will also get to. You'd think they would leave like a hole in one spot so you can just slide the arrow in, but apparently not. So the arrow is just a piece that will get lost unless you have him holding it, but it is, I guess, some kind of trick arrow. It has the silver end here, and then just a regular arrow at the top. His bow is really nice. I'm not sure if it's the same sculpt as New 52 Green Arrow from DC Collectibles, but it looks fairly similar to me. I don't have that figure, so I can't confirm, but it does look quite similar. It does have an actual elastic string, so that's really cool. The only issue with that is, like, so you could have him actually pulling this back, but I don't really think you can kind of get him like posed with the arrow and pulling this back at the same time. I kind of fiddled with it a little bit, but I think it would be too difficult to kind of get him holding it and then pulling the string and getting the hand in the right place. It's definitely, it might be possible, but I just have not confirmed that myself, so I'm not gonna go ahead and say you can or can't, but I'm not sure. The paint job is really nice. It's metallic red on the bow here, and then the grip is like a more muted red, not metallic. So very nice. And while not an accessory, a little feature that I'd like to just touch on right away, because when I first opened this package, I freaked out thinking, oh my god, they didn't do it. I remember when they showed, I think this was around New York Comic Con last year, which is almost a year ago now. They showed like the previews of this wave, or at least some of the figures, and they were talking about Arsenal and how they were going to give him a removable hat. And I was like, wow, that's such a great idea, that's really cool. And maybe it's just my memory now, but I could have sworn they said removable hat, like he would have a head sculpted and the baseball cap would go on top. So when I took this figure out of the package, I immediately reached for the cap and tried to pull it off. When it didn't come off, I started freaking out, like, I know, they didn't do it, why would they talk about it and then not do it? But it turns out, so then I realized on the back of the package, the little shot at the top shows him with the hat on backwards. Why would they show that if you couldn't turn it around. So I'm kind of fiddling with the head, and I realized, oh, it's kind of loose. So here's the cool feature now. I wish it wasn't a removable hat, but you can. This is still very cool. So you can rotate the very top of his head. It's just basically a swivel point. And you can turn his hat so it goes backwards. So that is just so cool, because in the comics he wears it both ways, and like that is really cool, and it's great because had they done just a removable hat, which I part of me is like, oh, I wish they did a removable hat. Part of me is like, okay, this is fine. The part I like about this is that they can keep this little bit of hair coming through here. Whereas with the removable hat, he'd have to have kind of a sculpted flat, and he wouldn't be able to have any hair coming through here. So that is very cool. And while I have the hat backwards, I'm going to keep with this way probably for the rest of the review. You get a better look at his face. As I was saying with the face, now, I feel like in the previews it looked a little better. And I believe this was the preview image. His mouth looks like it's sculpted a little bit differently. The mask looks a little bit different. And his face just looks wider. Now, in the final figure, his face just looks so thin at the bottom. Like around his chin just looks like somebody took it and went boop and pinched it in. It's suffering from New 52 Mattel Aquaman syndrome. It's just very, very narrow. I'm not sure what's up with that. But otherwise, it looks really good. The rest of the figure is sculpted beautifully. The rest of this figure is just beautiful. I mean, it's not going to do much for you in the way of articulation, but just to display, it's really nice looking figure. So, this what was his name? Derek Miller did a very nice job. So, I'll give you another close-up of that face there. And the hair and the hat. Very, very cool. Now, the quivers are like rubber. This one's the one. He has two quivers. One on his thigh, which is on soft straps, and it just floats, so you can have articulation. All the arrows are molded into both quivers, just like layers of them, but they're flexible. This whole quiver is flexible. It's got little pouches along the side, big one down here, and it's just really cool. It's got nice paint work. It makes it look like leathery around the sides, and then red here with the gold. Very nice job with that. And then this quiver is basically the same treatment, just bigger on the back. Again, I wish they had put a hole in one of them for the arrow to slip into, but what are you gonna do? Now, he also has a rubbery belt going all the way around, so he's got a big pocket back here, pouch, and then smaller pouches all the way around, leading up to the belt buckle here. He's even got sculpted detail down the crotch. I don't know why I say that, and like a lace lines. It's very cool. If it is supposed to be laces, I can't remember off the top of my head what his design looked like there in the comics. If it's supposed to be actual laces, it would have been nice if they painted it to make it whatever color laces, white laces or something. But otherwise, it's a really nice sculpted detail anyway. And the chest is all sculpted here. These lines are sculpted. The collar is sculpted. So nice. He's got straps for the quiver at the top here. So very cool. I've got a little bit of paint chipping on the gold line here, but not a huge deal. He's got more details there on the side. Gloves are sculpted really nicely. He's got the hand, on this hand he's got, you can move these two fingers if you need to open them a little bit, and then these again to fit the arrow in, or the string of the bow. And then this hand is meant to hold the bow, obviously. They've got really nice sculpting on the inside of the gloves, and then on the outside is metallic red, very, very nice. The boots are sculpted really well. It's got really cool knee pads. He's even got wrinkles in the thighs, so that's very cool. Got a strap going over here. Boot details. And these are metallic, like gauntlets, over the red pants and red boots. So that's very cool. Now, the paint is so well done. The colors look great together. The metallics mixing with the flats and the gold and the burgundies and light reds and dark reds. So nice. He's got some shading in the folds of his boots, and then he's got these tattoos that look awesome. He's got 2 on this side. I'm sure they're just some kind of like sticker, like transfer, but they look so good. They came out so clean. And on this side, this one goes like this. So cool. They look really, really good. So, it's just so nicely done, this guy. I was really upset when I thought the hat didn't turn, but now that I know it does, I'm much happier. The only thing that really could have made this guy better is wider jaw and more articulation, in my opinion. I just would have liked to see a few more points, but I will go through that now that I brought it up. He's got an articulated hat. He's got a head that will go side to side, down a little bit, up a little bit, and it kind of does the head tilt thing as well. The arms will go up pretty much all the way around. Got a bicep swivel, a single jointed elbow, a spin at the gauntlet, not at the wrist. So no hinge or anything here, because the gauntlets are sculpted over and they have these nice wrinkle details and shading in there. Now this is where I'm a little bit miffed. No ab crunch, which is fine, but not even a waist twist. That's where it kills me. I mean, he's got this belt. This is a great place for a cut joint. No problem there. It would work, no problem. I don't know why they left that out, because I feel like, especially, you know, he's an archer. Like, I would easily just be like, pose him like this, and then kind of spin him at the waist a little bit to make him look like he's, you know, like looking sideways. Like, I just feel like he doesn't have enough dynamic, enough ways to be posed dynamically for an archer. Like, you know, what are you gonna do? He has a beautiful figure. Anyway, so he does have T-jointed hips, so they go forward about that much. They'll go back about that much, and then they go out to the side a very decent amount for one of these DC Direct figures like this, because he has much leaner thighs, and you can see the quiver kind of goes just behind him, and you can see the lovely clear plastic joints in there. How about that? You can also see they mark the legs with an R for right leg. I don't know if you can see that, but I can. And an L up in here for left leg. So they're supposed to get them on the right side when they put these together, but sometimes that doesn't happen. He has a single jointed knee that gets a good 90 degrees, and then a hinged ankle, which isn't pretty tight on mine, so that's good. No rock or anything. I really wish they would get on that, but so far no dice. Oh, he does also have a swivel at the boot, but it's kind of one of those like sticky swivels that doesn't, you kind of turn it and it just kind of springs back. It was very similar to Power Girl's gloves in the New 52 Power Girl. So I wouldn't really force these, because they may break if you try to force them. But, yeah. So, definitely impressed with this guy. Happy they did go through with the hat. I wish he just had a squarer jaw, basically. I mean, I'll live without the articulation. It's definitely possible to get him into decent poses. I'm sure it would be easier with at least the waist twist. That's the only one that's really like, okay, come on guys, why would you leave that out? But you know, you can kind of make him look like he's, you know, kind of spread his legs a little bit maybe, and then keep him with the bow, and then head like down to the side. I don't know, I just feel like he would work, this pose would work a lot better with a waist twist. And then I'm gonna have to see if I can figure out getting him to like actually pull the bow back, because that would be pretty cool. So yeah, that has been my review of the DC Collectibles Red Hood and the Outlaws New 52 Arsenal action figure. if you couldn't tell, I definitely recommend this guy. He's probably my favorite of the three. Probably. But stay tuned for my Red Hood review to see what I think of him as well. And definitely pick this guy up if you were considering it, because he's going to look great either with the Red Hood and the Outlaws, or with, you know, the Green Arrow if you have that figure. And, yeah. So, stay tuned for my Red Hood review. I'll see you guys shortly. Thanks for watching.